Hello, I'm Michael Bianchi, and I've been building websites and taking names since 2014. Let's talk today about digital marketing. There are a lot of ways digital marketing can be accomplished, but the main purpose of it is to really do one of two things. You want to drive customers to your website in order to enhance your branding in some way, deliver a message, or you want to start them on some kind of a sales process. So, your website essentially is a command center for all of these activities. Every page should be designed in a way where it can almost engage customers and start a sales process of some kind. So, if you make a video on YouTube, in the description somewhere, there should be a link to your website, but not just anywhere on your website. See, if you make a YouTube video, it should be about something specific that solves a problem that your customers might be thinking about. And then the link should lead to another place on your website, a different page, that enhances and expands that problem that the customer is having. In other words, you want to introduce yourself to customers that are having a problem that's related to your industry with YouTube, and then you want to start the sales process on your website. Pretty cool. There's a lot of ways you can accomplish this. YouTube is a great way to get started. And most of the things nowadays, you used to have to buy expensive newspaper ads and television ads. I've bought television ads before, and they were extremely expensive. And quite frankly, to be honest, they were actually not that effective. But the internet has changed things in a very positive way if you know how to harness the power of it. So one of the best ways is social media. You should really stick with these four pillars of social media. You got YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I would actually put Pinterest in there too. So these are the five pillars of it, all right? Now the goal essentially is to start gaining a following on these social media accounts. Believe it or not, especially the millennial generation, millennials will just throw money at people that tell them a good story and also have a cause that they can stand behind. That's kind of how you market to millennials. Gen Xers are a little bit different. Gen X will have you suggest the product or service to them while showing them an ad that seemingly has nothing to do with the product. That's what they discovered in the late 90s about Gen Xers for marketing. Baby boomers, they're a little more ballsy. They kind of just take risks and buy things that might be because I don't know why. Maybe men just had more testosterone back then, but that's kind of what happens. Regardless, the main point of this is think of your website as a command center that receives the efforts of your marketing on social media. Now, there's another thing that you need to think about with digital marketing, and that's the big G, Google. I hate Google, and here's why. Google charges a lot of money for Google advertising. On average, you do get a pretty decent return from Google advertising. For every dollar you put into Google ads, you get about $1.50 to $2 back. That is actually a pretty good return on investment. But the problem is, over time, the price of ads might go up on Google to a point where it's no longer economically viable. Which brings me to my last point. Your biggest return on investment, as far as ad spend will go, is going to be good old SEO. Google has changed the game of how SEO is done dramatically, and I imagine they're going to make it ever more difficult for people to engage in SEO. If you're a local company, SEO is the first thing you need to do, because in the bad old days, 10 and 20 years ago, you used to be able to just put a couple meta tags and a little technical stuff in your website, and you would be on the first page of Google almost overnight. It was miraculous. Not 10 years ago, but 20 years ago, that was an absolute fact. 10 years ago, things could still be done, but recently, Google has too much content, basically. So, because they have too much content, they're moving in a direction where they only want to show you um, basically ads because they don't have any other solution. There's too much content now. So a combination of all of these is really the best thing. The problem with that for a local company is typically it's just too expensive for a lot of people to engage in all of these things effectively. If you want to stick to the free methods, stick with social media. Social media is going to be the king for the free people. But Google Ads and SEO, they are a powerful force right now. And because SEO can take 6, 8, 12 months to really get done effectively, you want to have a Google Ads campaign going roughly at the same time. Or you can rely solely on Google Ads. Just know that you're going to pay for every lead. But they are good leads. This is the way you connect a customer that's already looking for you at the exact time that they're looking for you. Now, if you're going to do this, I highly recommend having a very optimized website that's meant for taking inbound leads. I mean, this thing has got to have book nows, buy nows, fill out a form, contact us. It's got to be ready to receive the leads from Google. But SEO has about just as high ROI. In fact, most people would rather click on an organic link, which is a link on Google that says it's not an ad, and people know it because Google Ads tell you they're an ad. Um, and that's pretty good. I think that's a good place to stop right now. Hopefully you enjoy this and this has been valuable to you. I'm Mike Bianchi. Let me know if you have any questions or comments.